and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hi folks, I'm Bob Schultz, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
Brad, these are the 4 things that happen right before you have a heart attack. Now this is very timely because you heard about Alan Thicke, the TV star, just had a heart attack and died. He was playing hockey with his sons, and I think supposedly even right at when he had it, he was still conscious and he was talking to his boys, and just a real tragedy. He was, I think, 69. It's just when you hear that, it's a good time to go over what the signs and symptoms of a heart attack are right before, and to kind of maybe give you some warnings.
Right, because most people, if they're having the symptoms, deny it.
Right.
They're having it. Oh, it's nothing. It's going to go away. Blah blah. And you cannot do that. You got to make sure you're.
Especially women, I think, because it's been kind of put in our society that women don't have heart attacks as much as men do.
Right.
And the fact is, they do.
Sure.
And so, all right. So the first one is the most common one, and this is the one you all know, and that's the chest pain, tightness. It feels like there's an elephant on your chest.
Exactly. Common.
You're feeling a full feeling. And a squeezing pressure, they say. Yeah, so that one we're not telling anybody anything they don't know. The second one, though, is just plain old sweating. Especially cold sweats, even when you're resting. Right. Or at night. That's even kind of a...
my friend last year had one. He's only like 44 years old. And he said he's having the pain, but he said just his forehead was just sweating.
Night sweats.
Yep.
Too. Night sweats and clammy. And same thing happened to me, Brad. I had a patient. He came in to see me, and he was just sweating. I go, do you normally sweat like this? It wasn't a hot day. And he goes, no. And I go, are you short of breath? He goes, yeah, I had to sit down a couple times on the way over here. And I go, I think I'm going to call the doctor. So I call the doctor. And the doctor says, this is a good old Doc Pete. He says to me, he goes, Bob, I think I should be seeing him instead of you. So I drove him right down to the doctor, and they airlifted him to Mayo.
Oh, no kidding.
So it was that bad. So, all right, the third one, and again, is one sign that, especially if you already have indigestion, but indigestion can be a sign. And that's that's kind of bad, because if you already have it for other reasons, and it shows up as a heart attack, it's an easy one to dismiss.
Right. You think it's that instead of your heart, and the symptoms can mimic each other.
Exactly. And nausea and vomiting, I mean, it can get that far where you feel sick. And that was another friend that had that. He goes, I just didn't, he goes, I was sick. So the fourth sign, and this is can be a little deceiving too, is you're going to have pain in other parts of the body. And sometimes this is the only thing you're going to have. This one doctor that was talking about this, he was having pain in his shoulder. That's the only thing he had. And he's like, well, I don't have any heart history, and my parents were fine. And he was ending up having a heart attack. Right. What are some other places, Brad?
In the jaw.
Teeth.
Right.
Throat.
Good.
Yeah. You can have it in your back.
Yep, I've had a patient that described that back pain, and they went in and it ended up being a heart attack. Yep. It's these unusual symptoms that don't have an explanation, and it can be here, the jaw, the arm, sometimes
especially
in the back.
If it shows up and it wasn't there before, don't dismiss it. I mean, you'd rather go in and feel a little bit foolish than be dead.
Right.
Go ahead. Those are the 4 main ones, Brad.
Right, and I'll talk about my personal experience. On my 50th birthday, 4 years ago, I was out playing with the kids, playing football, running around. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, and I was feeling tightness and some pain in my chest, and my breathing felt a little short. And
you do have a family history.
Right. My father's had 1 or 2 heart attacks, two heart attacks. My uncle died from a heart attack. So that male side,
Sure. It's definitely on your mind.
Yeah, and it was definitely on my wife's mind. Sure. I'm thinking, I'm okay, whatever. And she says, no, we're going in. So we jumped in the car and we drove down to the hospital. They hooked me up. It ended up being they had me over there tonight and did all the checkup and the EKG and monitored me. They do the troponin test, which is in your blood. If you have elevated troponin, that means you probably had some muscle deterioration from a heart attack. Sure. Everything was perfect. And they said it was musculoskeletal. So that was good news.
Right, exactly.
But you need to go in and know for sure.
And Brad's a healthy guy. I mean,
Right.
he works out all the time, so this is a good example of someone that could easily have dismissed it. But, and the fact is, Brad, if it happens again, you need to go in again.
Well, it did happen again, and I did go in again.
So that's really a good sign that you're doing the right things.
Right, and then I followed up with a visit to the cardiologist. He went over me again, so I'm feeling pretty confident. And what we think it is something called
Costochondritis.
Right, which we do have a video.
We do a video. I'll link it up right
Sure,
here.
you bet.
So, a couple other things, Brad. Let's just mention some other signs. Shortness of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, feeling unusually tired for no reason. This was my friend. He goes, I didn't feel good. I felt really tired, he said. And he ended up having a heart attack. Lightheadedness or dizziness.
Right.
I
do want to talk a little bit about, if you're a relatively active person and you know your body, if you're going to go out for a brisk walk, because say you walk a lot or you run or whatever, and you find out that when you start to get your heart rate up, you're into your exercise, you start to feel different, maybe some pain, shortness of breath you haven't felt before, and actually a lot of people deny it, and then you sit down and everything's back to normal. And if that's consistent, but it was not before, it's something new,
that's not a good sign.
that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag.
In fact, Brad and I were just talking, because I had a irregular heart rate years ago, and I would feel better with exercise. I'd feel like it actually went away, and he goes, well, then it's stress. He goes, and they did monitoring on me too
Sure.
and stuff. So,
right.
people who have high blood sugar, diabetes, may have no symptoms of a heart attack at all, and it may go on. Did you know
really?
that?
No,
Yeah, I just read that, so it's something to keep in mind. All right, what to do, Brad, if you have the symptoms of a heart attack? Well, obviously, number one, you don't want to drive yourself in.
Right.
Because you could have the heart attack on the way there, and that would not be good, obviously.
My father literally drove himself when he was having a heart attack.
Oh, did he
Because
really?
he's so darn stubborn. And my mother was sitting next to him, and he went to the hospital 30 miles away because
she was with.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let her drive.
Right, because it was a better hospital. He could have went to the one 3 miles away, but he wasn't going to that one.
That's a Heineck. That's a German.
Yeah,
those Germans are together.
But anyways, don't drive.
Yeah, don't drive. Call 911 because they have the equipment that can deal with this rapidly and really can make a difference in the outcome.
Right. People who have symptoms or have a heart problems, oftentimes they'll have the medication with them.
Nitroglycerin.
Right.
Yeah. And then in that case, you're going to want to do and follow what the doctor said when you're starting to have chest pain. You want to go ahead and take it.
Typically, it's just something you put under your tongue, and you know how to use it.
Yeah, you know how to take it. If you do not have nitroglycerin, what you should take is an aspirin. And this is if you're not allergic to aspirin or if you've been told not to take aspirin, then you can go ahead and take 325 milligrams. But I don't want you to take water, and I want you to actually, it's going to taste crummy, but you're going to put it in your mouth and you're actually going to chew it and swallow it. That's how you're supposed to take it.
And what's is there a reasoning behind that, Bob?
I don't know if they're afraid that you're going to...
No, I mean for the aspirin itself. I'm assuming
it's going to thin the blood.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is straight from Dr. Oz, by the way.
Okay,
So.
you can't go wrong with Dr. Oz.
All right, number 4, if you beforehand, it's really not a bad thing to know which hospitals in your area are kind of geared towards heart or stroke. Because these are the people that can give you medicine, like on a stroke, they can actually do a reverse process where they give you that TPM, is it? I can't remember the name of it.
Right, we've got a video on that too.
I'll link that.
Okay.
But that'll actually help reverse the consequences of a stroke, basically.
Right.
It opens up the blood vessels
Right,
again.
gets that blood flow through the
So you really want to know which ones provide that. The last couple things you want to do is if somebody knows CPR, obviously you want to have them around.
Right.
So
know where they have the devices.
the defibrillator.
Right.
The thing is, and you were talking about these, Brad, these are so easy to use now that a child can use them.
Right.
And so if you're in a public building, most public buildings have them now.
Yep, they're clearly marked. You take them out. A lot of them they have their voice command.
Instructions.
Right.
So now in addition to all this, ideally what we'd like to see you do is that you actually would do the things that would avoid you having a heart attack in the first place. Try to take care of yourself and eat right and exercise. We can't tell you how often that becomes a case.
We should do a video on why aerobic exercises reduces a heart attack risk.
It's a deal, Brad.
We should go into it because we don't have time now. That we're losing people left and right already.
All right.
But what about the broken heart?
Oh, that's right.
Perfect.
That's right. We can fix just about anything.
But this is a good video.
Yeah.
This is a good start too,
Yeah.
Bob. The broken heart.
We're not able to fix a
Put it
broken heart.
right.
It's up there, and this is our start in trying to help that.